evening. Good evening. Hi there, Kelly. Paul. Al. I know some of you folks. Hi, I'm Luana.
Hi, Luana.
Hello. It's good to be with you. I'm going to go ahead and keep on letting folks in. Lisa will not be with us tonight, so it's just me. So we're going to give people a few more minutes. Lots of advisors and some DAs signed up. So hope you all are having a good evening. Oh, well, if it's evening for you.
Kathy said she's working on the list. She'll get it to you soon.
Okay.
Hi there.
Ooh. We're just going to give it a couple more minutes. Good evening to you all who said good evening. Jim, thank you for starting that. If you could add to the chat your name and your position, if you could, and where you're from. This is an advisor check-in chat, but we have some other folks here too. Good evening to everyone who have just joined. We're just going to give it one more minute and we'll go ahead and get started. So if you've just joined, if you can add your name, where you're from, and what your position is it a faculty advisor, Kiwanis advisor, DA, or any other role. Again, I'm Luana Nissan. I'm the SLP program manager for K-Kids, Builders Club, and Action Club. I have been lucky enough to meet some of you and even interview you, but not everyone. So welcome. Excited to be here with you.
Okay, Luana, I'm sorry, but I don't know how to do what you're asking me to do.
Oh, Judy, so if you can you find the chat? Looks like a speech bubble. If you're not seeing it at the bottom of your screen, of your Zoom screen, there's also there should be a little a word at the end of kind of all those different icons at the bottom before you hit the end button, and it should say more. And if you click on that, you may be able to access the chat that way.
Thank you.
Did you find it?
Yep.
Excellent. And that'll be useful. I'm actually in a second here going to give you the website address on the K-Kids site where that I'll be referring to a number of times this evening when I talk about awards and recognition information. Well, thank you for joining us from all over, including Jamaica, Barbados, Georgia, my old home state, Ohio, California. So we are in different time zones, Indiana, Colorado, Oklahoma, Michigan, and we keep on going. Thanks, everyone. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Just admitting a few more folks. Okay, so I'm going to add to the chat the URL that I mentioned, and that is the address for where you can find, or the place on the K-Kids website where you can find information about awards and recognition. But before I get started, I did introduce myself. I think most of you heard I'm Luana Nissan. I'm lucky enough to work with Lisa Pyron, who you probably know because she's been the development associate that works on K-Kids and Builders Club and Action Club and been around a long time. I'm also incredibly fortunate to work with the whole team, service leadership programs team at Kiwanis, including Michelle Shilton, who I believe is on the call. Michelle, are you here?
Yeah, hello everyone. Nice to see so many folks joining us tonight. Thanks for taking some time. As Luana said, I'm Michelle Shilton. I'm the program director for Kiwanis Youth Program. So just helping to coordinate and leverage all of our 5 different club lines, which go the 3 that Luana mentioned, and also CKI and Key Club. So just connecting all of our different club lines together. So nice to see you all.
Thanks very much, Michelle. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. If you, we usually have both Lisa and I on, and one of us is admitting people. So if you can have just a little bit of patience with me as I set up PowerPoint in a way that I can still admit folks that might be joining us. So I'm sorry for the inconvenience. If you can just give me a minute. Thanks, Michelle. Let's see if I can go ahead and do that. I'm just not sure since so I'm going to try to go ahead and make Michelle co-host. See if I can do that. Sorry. Can you see my screen yet?
No, not yet.
Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, Michelle, do you have controls?
Doesn't quite look any different for me, so we'll see if it pops up if people start joining in.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, folks. Sorry, let's go ahead and get started. So you're here from all across the country and some other countries, and we're really excited to have you here. Our topic today is awards and recognition, because we're at that time of the club year where we are hoping that advisors are thinking about kind of what's coming near the end of the year. How do we receive recognition for all the great service that we've done? How do we potentially recognize an officer that may stand out? If we have a fellow advisor, Kiwanis advisor, or faculty advisor who we'd like to nominate for a Distinguished Advisor Award, what's the process? And also, I'm so excited that there's so many of you here to actually share this message with. Here at Kiwanis International, we don't have direct contact with advisors very much, with club advisors. And so this is a fabulous opportunity for us to kind of share some information, also hear some questions and thoughts from you on a couple of different topics. But for me to directly share this message, we would love to hear your stories. We would love to hear your thoughts. Even when we send out emails, they don't always get to you because they get caught in school spam filters. And so if you ever want to just like have a conversation and share what's going on in your club, either Lisa or I would be would really welcome that opportunity to hear about kind of real club life. How does that work? What is working for you? What would you like to see happen? Last year we shared we spent some time with Builders Club advisors interviewing them, and we revised the Builders Club materials. This year, I spent quite a bit of time at the end of November and into December interviewing a number of advisors through focus groups and individual interviews, and a number of you some of you are on this call. And it's really great to actually hear what life is like in clubs with kids, and to hear about their experiences and your needs. So as we share information about the awards and recognitions, and also we get into you sharing some stories, please do reach out after this call by email, or reach out to set up a phone conversation if you want to have further conversations either about this topic or any other topic. So just so you know, we're here for you. That's why we're here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead
And Luana, by the way, it is working for me to be co-host. I've been letting people in, so
Great.
you don't have to worry about that.
I saw that, so I was pretty happy about that. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So welcome. see, are you seeing the top of the screen as well?
Yes, it's good.
Okay, great. So we're here today to talk about awards and recognition, as I mentioned. Though we are close to, we're in spring now, we do want to encourage you as advisors to actually, as you think about next year, to start thinking about a couple of the things that we're going to talk about tonight at the beginning of the year as you're planning. It really is an opportunity. One of the things that we ask of you is a report, and that means planning kind of to gather information, throughout the year. So if you keep your information in an organized manner, and I'm getting some feedback because I believe some folks may have their microphones on. If you could possibly turn off your, oh, thank you very much. So if you want to think about kind of this as being kind of a plan, even though you submit award nominations and you gather this information to send to us at the end of the year, it's really easier if you kind of plan for it as you begin your year. So what we hope that we provide are some online resources that are really easy to find. So I'm going to take you to, I've got a picture here of the website. And if you look online, you can review the award opportunities and share information with your K-Kids officers and members. So if you go to the home page, there is a resource section, and you can click that on the navigation bar. And when you click resources, a page will open up that shows at the top a white bar, and that's kind of sub-navigation. As you can see with the red circled words, awards and recognition are right there in that sub-navigation on the resources main page. So as I mentioned, kind of for planning, if you think about now, does anyone use this calendar that we send you in the renewal kits? Any of you advisors use those the calendar for your planning? Well, we've heard that a number of advisors do use them. So if you take a look at kind of the calendar year, in September, you could really kind of involve your members by reviewing and sharing the award opportunities, or decide that you're an officer maybe kind of in charge of keeping records, like your club secretary. So, and then also in September, you could decide that you form an awards and recognition committee to track the club's progress, or make that the responsibility of a few members. So it could be a leadership opportunity. So that's what we mean by starting at the beginning. October through April, you can receive updates from the awards and recognition committee or the members that you've assigned, and they can kind of track progress of what's happened around service, for instance, or any extraordinary things that certain officers have done. So there's different opportunities there, but just kind of keeping record and keeping track of things. And then in May, and I'll talk about the deadlines, at the very beginning of May, we're asking that award entries are submitted online. So let's review kind of what can be done to make the awards process easy for you. So first, really important for not just for the awards process, but really for the functioning of clubs and for Kiwanis International, for you to be able to for us to be able to post your images, for you to be able to post your images. We of course ask that you start the service year with signed photo releases for all of your members. Those are available on the advisors page under leadership, or on the navigation bar. It is lead, and then you choose advisors, and near the bottom there is a link actually to the advisor guide, or you have your printed advisor guide, and the photo release form is at the back of that. We ask that you please, even if your school, of course, your school may have its own media releases, that does not cover the images that we would use at Kiwanis International, and we also need those photo release forms signed if you're putting anything on social media. So please do make sure that you have those at the beginning of the year. So that's kind of the first step. Second, we suggest that we really
childcare workers. As we heard recently from Wayne Chen, this was at the time when there was no
I think, oh, thank you. And then there's a message that we've been sharing a lot in Builders Club, and so I'll go ahead and share it here. One of the unique things about Kiwanis's service leadership programs is that we empower kids. We empower kids to serve in formal leadership roles. Kids learn youth governance. They learn what it means to be a secretary, a treasurer, a president, a vice president. Some of you have officer positions, and we know that some clubs do not. But K-Kids is the beginning of that journey for our service leadership programs. But we also encourage you beyond the officer positions to empower other kids with leadership, situational leadership opportunities, as well as roles that they could take on. And that's why we mentioned potentially putting together a committee. Assigning a club reporter is one of those areas of responsibility that you could find for a student or several that really, really love writing and telling stories. Another potential position is assigning a club photographer and kind of giving them the responsibility to always keep an eye out for good images that you can use in promotions and in telling your club story. So here, let's talk about the award opportunities that we have in K-Kids. The first is the Distinguished Club Officer Award. And sorry, 1 second. I'm going to share with you kind of the information about the award and the criteria and kind of deadline information. You see is right there. It's May 1st. So the Distinguished Club Officer, you really want to think about a student who deserves to be recognized because they've made really outstanding contributions to your club. They can be nominated for the Club Officer Award by you. The nomination process is really easy. One person from the club can nominate a club officer, or it can be a group effort. There isn't a limit to which club officers can be can be selected per district. So if your district has lots of K-Kids clubs, each K-Kids club can have a club officer that's been nominated and selected. Any member, fellow club officer, club advisor, or district administrator even can nominate a club officer. So there are some district administrators. We encourage all district administrators to visit clubs, but as a district administrator, and I know we have several on this call. If you're connected in a very close way to a club, you may actually know the officers as well. So club officers may not nominate themselves, so that's kind of important. To enter, you just complete and submit a form that's online on that web page, and I showed you how to get to it on the by clicking on the resources section and then going to the awards in that sub header, going to the awards and recognition section. So there, all of the kind of criteria are listed there in a description of the club officer award, and you can read that to your members and your officers as well. We will announce after all of the submissions come in on May 1st. We will do a pretty quick turnaround in looking at those, and we will share. We encourage you to share information on social media once you find that out, but we will also share the selected officers on Facebook and Twitter, and we will do that by May 15th. So we encourage you to take advantage of this and to recognize an officer. Sorry. And then there's also the Distinguished Club Advisor Award. And again, that award nomination is due through the online form by May 1st. There isn't a limit again as to the number of club advisors that can be selected in your district. And any member, again, club officer or fellow club advisors. So if there's co-advisors, co-faculty advisors in your club, one advisor can nominate the other, or if there's a Kiwanis advisor can be nominated by the faculty advisor or can nominate the faculty advisor. Sometimes we do get nominations when from the same club where they nominate each other. But club advisors, again, cannot nominate themselves. The names of the award recipients will be posted on the K-Kids website and announced through our newsletter and social media by May 15th.
That soon? Okay.
By May 15th. And we then encourage you to go ahead and share that on your social media as well. The online form, again, you have to do this, you have to submit the form online, is also in that section of the K-Kids website. Finally, kind of really the piece of work for the advisor that's important to start planning for and to kind of keep track of the different activities that go on in your club is really the annual achievement report. The annual achievement report, and I'll go through some specifics about it. We will accept that anywhere between May 1st and June 10th. And that's an online submission as well. And so let's get into just kind of some details about the annual achievement report. That really helps us understand your club story. And we really encourage you to do that, to submit it. You can complete the annual achievement report with the help of members, faculty advisors, and really involved Kiwanis advisors if you're there a lot at club meetings. We encourage you to involve the members and the officers in helping kind of gather information and helping you complete it. It's a self-scoring report that shares really the activities of the club that the club needs to conduct, and it's meant really to recognize what happens in your club each year. Reviewing the annual achievement report at the beginning of the year, kind of the form ensures that the club will accomplish all the requirements to achieve it, and will also tell a great story. So you want to think about kind of these questions. Did your club host an installation ceremony at the start of the club year for new members? Did your club visit our website, use any resources that were provided, or how did you use the resources that were provided in your renewal kits? Did your club elect officers the previous year and then plan for it, or at the beginning of the service year? Tell that story. Did club officers receive any training? Did the secretary and the treasurer kind of do the duties of a secretary and treasurer? Did they take notes? Did the secretary take notes? Did the treasurer keep track of expenses and work on and understand what a budget is and do the work of a budget, of keeping a budget? Did you have do share if you had any committees and if you had any special positions of leadership in your club? Did the club organize or conduct any kind of school-wide activities? And we know that a lot of schools, most schools now have gone back to live events, but we know the virtual functions, virtual gatherings, virtual activities haven't stopped, and that you may be doing some things virtually. So what are those? And did the club kind of organize any type of appreciation activity for members of the school community or members of the broader community? Did you participate in Trick or Treat for UNICEF and do fundraising for UNICEF this year? And kind of, you see some other questions here that can be addressed in your annual achievement report. So essentially, basically, what we want is kind of a full picture without it being cumbersome. We don't want this to be a big kind of take away from the work of service and leadership and kind of becoming a club where members spend time together and get to know each other. But we do want you to share your story and also help your members see, whoever participates in putting together the report with you, see how important it is to be able to explain what what the club does, to tell that story in a way that's meaningful, that honors the work that's been done, and to help your students see that these are the types of activities they'll have to do in life, like when they put together a service resume, or they apply for positions or student government, that it's really good to be able to kind of see where you've been, what you've been doing, and be able to put that to paper and tell the story. So there's a lot of ways that the report is, especially if you involve members, is a meaningful activity of the club. It's part of the leadership training. But you don't want to forget that clubs need to have 15 or more members by April 1st. We also would like to hear if they're, in what ways families are involved. And we'd like to know how and if you're using some of the resources like the member handbook. Now, I've been talking quite a bit. I'm wondering if anyone has any questions before we kind of continue. I'm going to take a look at the chat. Only one officer. Robert, can you explain the question that you had about officers?
Yeah, you mentioned, I thought you just said only one officer per club could be nominated. My question is, can you have more than one officer from a club be nominated? That's all.
Oh, thank you. Let's see what. I'm sorry, I'm actually, it's a bit new to me, so let me just make sure. I'm sorry, Michelle, do you know the answer to that question? I thought it was one
I-
officer, but
I unfortunately do not, only because there's 5 different clubs and they're all a little differently.
yes, I'm sorry. We're gonna, if you can give me a minute after after I'm done with the kind of the rest of this sharing, we're gonna take a look at the site and see if it answers that question. I'm sorry, actually, I'm kind of filling in for Lisa and this is her area, so that's kind of embarrassing, but. Let me go through the rest of this and then we'll go ahead and the rest of the details about the submissions, and we'll go ahead and take a look at if I can find the answer to that question, Robert. So for the submission process, just so that you understand how the award recognition goes, the recognition letters and the electronic badges are all posted online. There may have been a time when you received physical badges, but a lot of things have gone electronic, and we hope that what it makes is an easier way for you to share with students in ways that they can then show others what they've earned. So there are a number of resources that we've put online, and we're also sending kind of electronic badges and certificates as well for that recognition. You have the option, of downloading and emailing or printing hard copy. And I've heard advisors share that they do this different ways. So some do send recognitions digitally, and others do print and kind of have a ceremony. So it just depends on how you'd like to handle that. Award recipients, again, as I mentioned earlier, are posted online on our website and will be in the newsletter after this summer. I'm sorry. So we encourage you to really promote through social media and tell the story and celebrate your club, celebrate your officer, celebrate your advisors with all the work that you do for those recognitions, just as we will. Please remember to notify Kiwanis by including #kkids.org on any social media that you make. So I'd like to connect to those. So other than Robert's question, does anyone else have a question?
And Luana, I just double checked on the website and it appears that users can only submit one officer for consideration.
That's what I had remembered, but Robert, if I'll go ahead and send you confirmation of that tomorrow. Thank you, Michelle.
Did you put the hashtag in the chat,
Yes,
Luana?
see that.
For a lot of our kids in these clubs, these are very positive opportunities they have to do something that helps overcome some of the adverse effects that they've been through and some of the trauma they've been through in the community. And I really would like to see us readdress how we do the recognition, bad patches for the banners, nice certificates instead of something we just print off. We put them in a frame and have a nice ceremony for them. But in the end, it's a piece of paper that's not even nice.
Al, I'm sorry, was that you speaking?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks, Al. Yes, and thank you. I actually noted that you had shared that during your interview as well. So thanks for bringing that up again. So you, can you share, Al, how you, can you share how you used to share those recognitions?
Before we went away from the patches for the honors banners, when we received recognition for the kids, then we had a ceremony there at the school that we invited the principal and the staff and folks from the school board, and we made it a big deal to add their new patch to their honors banner. We made it a big deal to take their certificate that they received, put that in a nice frame, and first of all, present that to the kids at some kind of an event, but then to encourage the kids to do another event for the school where they would present the certificate to the school to hang in some kind of an award area, whether it's a glassed-in case or a wall or whatever it might be, to get recognition for these kids. Too many of these kids, we're in a rural area. We have some of the same issues in some of the interurban areas where the kids are dealing with so many adverse effects. And these are positive things that we can do that doesn't cost a ton of money, but the impact not only on the kids, but on their parents, on their grandparents, on the school members, on the other kids, other folks in the community. It's hard to imagine the impact it has.
Thank you so much for sharing, Al. Any other questions?
Luana, can I
Comment.
just make a comment?
Yes, or comments?
And I understand the idea of the honor banners. We're a fairly new initiated club, and we don't have the honor banners. My suggestion would be, I guess, if you made that patch an optional request, whether you wanted a patch or a digital, that might be a more, I can see then you're saving money for the international as far as giving patches to everybody, and not everybody uses the patch. But the option of having a patch might help those that do have the honor banners, and the other option of digital would satisfy those that don't.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate your input, and we'll share that with leadership, and as we are thinking about what changes will happen, and for what's available to the clubs. Some things like the banners can be purchased now separately rather than being included directly in the charter kit, and so it's an option. If the club will use it, they can, or if the sponsoring Kiwanis Club wants to purchase that, they can, but they don't have to. But you mentioned it cost is one consideration, but also a kind of knowing what clubs use. There's such great variation between the clubs, what their their ceremonies are, what they use, what they don't use, and so it's the more we hear from you all, and as no one's brought, we haven't started a discussion yet, but we heard from you on buttons and and pins, and so so it's good to hear feedback and see what more of the consensus is. Thank you. Any other comments before we get into kind of a related conversation?
One last thing, we used to get the club banners in our charter kits, and those don't come in the charter kits now. We have to order those separately.
Yes.
We also we have to order separately the honors banners. And
Yes.
this is the pride of the club. This is how they hang banners in the gym with all the other athletic banners, with all the other reading banners, with all the other recognitions. This
Yes.
is a significant self-esteem tool that I don't think we should take too lightly.
And I think that I do want to encourage you to understand that we do know how important that is to many clubs, but not all clubs. And so not all clubs actually post their banner or hang their banners. So they still can be purchased, but the sponsoring Kiwanis Club needs to know that that's something that the club wants. So it still can be ordered. It was just separated from the charter kit. Yes, but thank you so much, Al. So related to,
Sorry, it looks like Carol has her hand up.
Excuse me,
I'm so sorry. Thank you for, thank
can I
you.
ask a question, please?
Yes, please.
I have, oh, go ahead, since she had her hand up, go ahead. sorry.
This is my first year as the liaison with the school, and I don't know about the patches or the banners. Is there someplace on the website where I can read about this?
So the banners are a part of the chartering material. I'll see if I can find it separately. I'm sure there's there, but the place I know where it's at easily is as a part of the chartering. And patches, I don't know that there are any to purchase right now. That I don't think, we haven't been doing those for a little while, so I'm not sure that there are any to purchase, but I know that the banners are available. I'll see if I can find the separated link for that.
Thank you.
Can I go ahead now?
Yes.
Yes. And I'm sorry, if
you.
you could state who is speaking? Is it Sandra?
Okay, I'm Sandra Davis.
Yeah.
I'm an advisor for several K-Kids club here in Jamaica. I have noticed that the last kit of new club that we formed in the kit did not come the block that the gavel go on. We only got the gavel and not the block.
That was probably just a miss by the warehouse. Sandra, I'm gonna put my email address in the chat, and if you don't mind sending an actual email with the name of the club that did not receive that, we can check into that for you.
And also you mentioned, do they get the banner free or they have to purchase the banner?
The banner is separate. Yeah, you have to purchase
Oh,
that
yeah.
separate when you're chartering, and
Separate.
I'm trying to find the place where you can do banners separated from the chartering process.
Okay. All right, no problem. I will take a note of your email and send you an email. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sandra. Okay, Melinda, you had a question?
Yes, good evening. My question, I'm from Kiwanis Club of the K-Kids in Nassau, Bahamas. I live in Eleuthera. What I wanted to ask, I actually don't have a gavel. I got none of those stuff. The only thing I got was the box with the booklets, but I never got, I don't know, pins came with that, or you have to order pins separately.
Melinda, pins did not, or buttons did not come this year with the kits. But if you have not received all the materials that you should have or items that you should have, then if you could email me, and you'll see on the last slide my email address. I'll also put it in the chat.
Okay.
Email me, we'll work on that tomorrow and the next day and get a response to you, because we'll need to check on a couple of things. And when you email me, if you could please include the club name and location and provide your contact information. I've just put my email address in the chat.
And just to clarify, only the charter material is when you would receive the other items, if like the gavel and everything. So that's if your charter was a long time ago, somebody there would have had the charter, correct? It's the renewal kits are not coming with banner options or gavel pieces. Those were really for the original chartering.
Any other questions? Okay, I think we have everyone. So we would like your thoughts. As I've just shared, there are a few awards opportunities, and then there is the report that, I'm sorry, the report that we use to determine which clubs are distinguished clubs and which clubs are honor clubs. And so it is your reports that help us identify, as you kind of meet criteria, which of your clubs are distinguished clubs and which are honors clubs. So those are the other two awards. All the information about those criteria are also on the webpage that I've steered you to. But we're wondering what you think about, for those of you who have been around a long time, you may remember that in the past there have been contests that clubs could participate in. And they were truly contests. They had to kind of meet certain criteria, and each district, I think, would end up selecting kind of one awardee per category per district. But here are some that we've had in the past: member recruitment poster, digital scrapbook, and in the past there have been physical scrapbooks, but we're not considering those at the moment. A club video and single service award, which you may know from some of the other club lines. We are wondering what you would think about us bringing back contests. So we're here to listen.
No, Terry and Greenberg is her sponsor.
Beverly, I'm sorry, it's really hard to hear you.
No questions. Can we go to the next one?
I think Beverly was not
It could
trying
be,
to share. That might have been a mistake. Does anyone have thoughts? About adding contests back for the clubs?
Are you asking like what type of contests, or?
I'm asking if you think that we should add contests back, that would be something that your club would be interested in participating in. And if so, do you like the idea of these contests, of these particular contests, which we've had in the past?
Yes,
Sorry.
I can't remember all the contests that has happened in the past, but I think that's a good idea to get our kids in active in the competition where they can win awards for themselves or prizes for themselves.
Okay,
That
thank
would
you,
be a good.
Sandra.
Yeah, this is Paul. I think the contest would be good because one, it would give the kids some extra direction. The other thing is as they get further along in Kiwanis, especially once they get to Key Club, they're going to be doing contests just like this in Key Club. And this will kind of get them ramped up and excited about their future.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
My K Kids Club, I've been doing it since 2004. And I remember there used to be speech contests. I took my members to our sponsoring Kiwanis Club with their prepared speech about what being in K Kids meant to them. And then the members of the Kiwanis Club picked the winner. And they had to prepare, they had to write their speech. And it was a really good thing because it got them to talk about all the different projects and things that they did throughout the year.
Thank you, Maureen. And you, so did they do a group presentation, or did they do individual?
They did individual. Now, in the recent years, I always bring them to the Kiwanis meeting at the end of the school year. So they present a slideshow and they talk about everything they've done. They have an estimation of how many service hours they did. We estimate how many projects they do. They talk about how much money they raise for charity, because we do 2 major fundraisers that we give the money to charity. We talk about the other projects that we did for the school, and they have to present all that. So lately, it's just been a group talk that the officers present, but it was nice because before, when it was a speech contest, we could have all the kids participate.
And they would participate separately. You would still, you would individually film them.
Yeah, well, no, we would have them write their speeches. We actually took them to the Kiwanis Club meeting because it's in town. So that, because our Kiwanis Club meets at night. So they could actually come to the meeting. It's at a restaurant, so they could come. And we usually get, 5 to 8 members to come to the Kiwanis Club meeting.
Okay, thank you so much. Any others? Anyone remember speech contests, or have others done that? Does anyone have a thought about whether or not this would be too time consuming and take away from the service project organizing and carrying out and your other activities?
Well, I don't think so,
Yeah.
because it would be optional, right? So
Yes.
the clubs that have more time or can commit to it can do it. And then the clubs that can't just choose not to. I think it's a great idea.
Thanks, Amy.
This Al Riggle, we find spring to be exceptionally tough because of all the testing that the kids have to go through.
Yes.
It takes weeks at a time away from things that they would like to do and things they would like to support or projects they would like to plan. So we really have to tone it down for them so it doesn't compete with their testing.
Al, are you trying to say that it's hard for them to fit this in, or you'd like to see it at a different time of year?
We have not personally been able to do these simply because of the time it requires and the testing that the kids have to do. But I think it's a good program. And I think the kids I've seen that have participated in some of these contests, I think they learn a lot. And I think it really helps build their self-esteem. So I would hate to see these go away. I'm not sure if it'll work for our club.
Okay, thank you very much. That's really helpful. Sandra? Sandra?
Yes, I have our division here in Jamaica. We have had for our K-Kids what we have like a poster competition, right? We give a topic and have the kids then do a drawing, and from that we do selection. So it's something that with some creativity, the kids to show that it has to do with service. Their whole the poster competition is normally has to gear towards service or something in the environment or for it. So you could come up with an area that you would love for the kids to showcase and use it as a competition too. Or if possible, you can do a video competition, of the kids them actually creating from the project that they have been doing and create a video highlighting it. And you will use that as a judging to select the best video in service. So
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It sounds like it works and it's really useful. Love the idea of kids creating videos as well. Thank you. Any other thoughts before we move on to our last part of our agenda, which is a conversation? Okay, well, we were wondering, we're just going to throw this question out there. Wondering what's working this year for your club. Would anyone like to share?
This is Paul. I can share what's working with us.
Thanks, Paul. Can you remind us where you are?
I'm Texas, Oklahoma district admin. and all of my clubs are back in person again this year, which is huge. Because the last few years you had a mix of virtual and in person. And the thing is just getting the K kids out and doing service in the community, getting to go back out and visit at nursing homes, veterans homes, things like that. They make cards, they make gifts, they visit businesses. And of course they visit our Kiwanis clubs and they tell us all about everything they're doing. And they get their kindness awards in, going out and putting their little kindness cards out for other K kids, and trunk or treat with UNICEF. And I mean, it's across the district, it's great because we're getting back to our norm. So everything I think is working, and we're discovering new things that we can do for the communities.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing, Paul. Anyone else?
Hello, I'm Raymond. I started my Kiwanis Club this year in I think it was actually October. So our club is really new, but we've been doing a monthly event where every month we've gone to a different place to learn about community. We went to Golden Rainbow Ranch last month, and the kids met the animals, learned how to take care of them, and they started raking leaves and stuff to take care of the ranch. But we visited a fire station, we visited nursing home, Humane Society. We go to a different place every month, and we try to make that event like kind of the focus of our meetings during that month is what kind of questions will we interview the fireman about? What kind of ways are there to take care of plants in your community? We're starting a school garden next month. That's what's working for us.
Raymond, can I ask, is it a challenge to find the time to plan the activities if you're actually going somewhere every month?
No, because I work with my the parents are volunteers, and we get together and we talk about what great places are around there, and they just all have ideas. So what we do now is we're just going to have all these events scheduled, and then next year we plan to just use the same exact events, and then we're going to go down the list every month, and then we'll have an event for each month.
Thank you. Who else would like to share?
Hi, I think I had my hand up. This is Bev from Jamaica.
Hi, Bev. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so we have not, I'm from Division 23 East, and our K kids have just really started. I'm sorry I can't open my camera on my cell phone, so you won't be able to see my face. So I was just saying that our K kids, they have just started back. We're slowly going back to face-to-face, but we have not been really able to take them out like on trips. But what they have been doing is like little concerts they do, as Sandra said, they do poster competitions. And of late, we notice a few of them are getting their backyard garden going. So they have been planting seeds. They have been doing activities in their meetings, like making flower pots and things like that. So we're slowly getting back. So, you know, we're planning now on taking them out slowly. So, and then we have to be very careful how many persons we have that's going with them that have their background checks. So that's so important to have the background checks going. So we're getting there slowly. We're getting there slowly.
Thank you. Thank you, Bev, for sharing.
I was going to share a little bit about our club. I don't know if anyone else felt this way, but we took the break because of COVID. We weren't able to have virtual meetings. So it was before I was able to have members come for consecutive years because we kind of dropped all of that. It's been really tough in training our leaders. Because usually our president and officers had been members the year before. So it's been a really tough year. So when you say, what's working for you this year, working is just getting the club back to what we used to do. Because we have a long history with the school. We've been there for a long time. Just getting back to the usual amount of service that we provide and things that we do has been really, really tough. We're getting it going, but it's like a herd of turtles. It's really going slowly.
Thank you, Maureen, for sharing that. Can I ask, actually, for you faculty advisors, is it hard to make time for K-Kids considering all of the other pressures in your school coming out of the pandemic? Or do you have administrative support?
I have administrative support, but it's still really tough getting it all in there, finding the room. We've had to move because we meet in a classroom at lunch, and we've had to move several times because it's a big school, lots of new classes actually formed. So we've had a lot of difficulties getting things done.
Thank you. Carol, you had your hand up.
One of the things that's working so well in our club is our incredible advisor, who is all of 69 years old and has more energy than I do. We do not have a problem. We do have the principal's support, but what she does is she meets with the students at 7:30 in the morning for certain committees, and then we have after-school meetings, and it's always in the cafeteria. So we're pretty good as far as being able to meet. I have found this meeting very rich as a first-year K-Kids advisor or liaison. And I can see where our Kiwanis Club could be much more connected if we didn't meet at lunchtime, because we can't pull those kids out of school. So I'm going to have to do a little pleading of changing some schedules, which doesn't happen very well when you're in an adult active community over 55. But we'll give that a go and see if people can stay up until 7 p.m. And so I've really appreciated this meeting because I've learned so much, and I have taken voluminous notes on some possibilities, and especially to honor this wonderful teacher who is retiring at 69. So thank you. Thank you all for your input. And Maureen, particularly, I really appreciated what you had to say about the speech contest and presenting to the club, because I just know that our club members would fall in love with these wonderful children. So thank you for your ideas.
Carol, you bring up actually a point that's really important. And as a former teacher, I want to say thank you so much for your consideration and recognition that schools function, by the clock, and you use the time that's available to you and you work around it. And these faculty advisors who are absolutely committed to K-Kids and the other club lines really are, using time they could be using for something else. Because they love the kids, but recognizing that the sponsoring Kiwanis clubs, if they want to be involved in that younger part of the Kiwanis family, have to have some flexibility. Thank you for that. Judy, you've had your a number of folks have their hands up. Judy, would you like to share now?
Okay, I'm not only a DA, but I'm in the school with one of our K-Kids clubs. And we've been doing this now just before, I think we started in 18. So even during the 2 years that everything was haywire, we did online with the kids at those times. And they could, when they had to go to school to pick up stuff, they would pick up stuff for K-Kids to do. So we was in contact with them every week, just like we are, now. And they have been doing so many things. I don't know about the rest of you, but we have 20 minutes from the last recess until the time for them to get on their buses. So we have 20 minutes to do everything that we need to do. And then, so far this year, they've helped the veterans. They've helped out at, retirement home. They've helped bring, a food drive. They've done, a paper drive for the veterans. These kids, there's 50 of them. About 30 of them come every week. So it's, you know, it's a lot of kids trying to figure out all the different ideas that they want. And then they have to vote on which one they're going to do next. Just as soon as they get one done, they're on another one. So I'm always awed about the two teachers that do this. And our principal, she is wonderful. And I just can't say enough about all of them in the school, how well they do. Thanks. Just me ranting.
Thanks, Judy. Okay, Mike. If you're still with us, Mike. Melinda, you have your hand up.
How do you take doing what we haven't done that?
Okay, I'm sorry. Now I think both of you started speaking at the same time. Oh, thanks, Melinda, for putting on your mute. Mike, were you trying to share?
How do you take them on a field trip? We thought doing that, but we haven't done that.
And do you mean because of transportation, challenges around transportation, or because of still some COVID restrictions, Mike? Is transportation an issue for other folks?
Transportation.
Okay, thank you. Transportation and issues. Anyone, has anyone found ways around? Al?
Yeah, transportation is always an issue that we have to factor in every time they do something.
Yeah.
And some things they are not able to do the way they originally would like to do it because we can't get them there or get them home. But they're good about working out alternatives.
So, so can anyone share kind of real quickly, what are some alternative ways that you've, how have you figured out transportation in your, for your clubs in your schools or organizations?
Luana, we're from Sault Ste. Marie, and what we've done, our sponsoring club has worked with the local bus transportation company, and we've actually got a donated rate that we and our club covers that cost for the school. Now we've only done it actually just prior to COVID, and then obviously we had to shut down for 2.5 years or whatever. But that's something that our club looks at to help out the local K-Kids Club here. And my daughter Amy is the faculty advisor for that school, so we work kind of close together there.
Jim, I'm sorry, who's your daughter is Amy? You're together on this call, I wondered. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now that's
Amy wanted to say something too, also, if she could, Luann, at this point.
Yes, Amy.
I raised my hand and was waiting my turn like a good student, though. So we started in 2018 and had an awesome first year, and then COVID kind of shut us down mid 2019 into 2020. And then we weren't, like, we're from Canada, so we weren't allowed to do clubs of any sort, not sports or anything, until the beginning of this year, and didn't actually get our Kiwanis Club going until December. So it's been a long time. And what I loved was the kids in the hall saying to me, when are we going to have a Kiwanis meeting and stuff like that? So they were excited. They were like in grade 1 and 3, and now they're in like 6 because so many years have passed. So it's nice to see the excitement still there. You would ask some things that had gone well. Pre-COVID, we had done like a bake sale and yard cleanups, and we'd gone to some nursing homes and done like a Christmas craft and an Easter craft. So that was a really successful start for our first year. So we're excited to get those things back. Obviously, transportation is a bit of an issue right now. But yes, like my dad did say, they help us cover those costs. But the problem is field trips are still a little bit like they don't want children in nursing homes still. So we're being creative for Easter. I was just saying to my dad, and we're going to do Easter cards to the nursing homes. So we can't be in them to do something with them, but we can still send a card. The other big thing is at my school, I'm pretty central in our community, and we're a large school that does English and French immersion. And so we've become a very big community with newcomers. So we predominantly didn't have that before. And now just within the last couple of years, it's just my school alone has over 100 students from Taiwan, the Philippines, Mexico, like all over the place, which is super exciting. I have 9 just in my JKSK classroom. So what we've done as a club, because it's Kiwanis is international, is we've kind of embraced our multi-language learners, and we're doing events to kind of embrace the international communities around the world. And just we called it We're All Canadian A. And then we had them do flags that were a Canadian flag, but with their country. So if their country's flag was the Ukraine blue and yellow, then their Canadian flag would be blue and yellow. So that was a cool activity. And we're doing a winter play day because yes, we still have lots of snow where we are. And so we have a winter play day this Thursday. And it's all different events. And then the parents are coming in the evening, and we're going to do the same events, but with the parents participating. So we're just trying some new things, and then we'll go back, hopefully, I'd like to say, to normal in 2023, 24, and go back to the nursing homes and the community events that we did. Sorry, that was long.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Amy. Melinda, did you have a question or a comment?
I just wanted to share from my club's perspective.
Okay. Melinda, I think we're not hearing you.
Could you
it was breaking up. Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Okay. We're back face to face now. So we have our meetings every Tuesday after school. The kids are very excited. They have their own, they set up the president. So by the time I get there, because me and the SLP chair, we go every Tuesday to support them. And they've had their whole agendas planned already. They do their icebreakers. It was so excited because they were so excited to get back face to face to having meetings and all of that. So they did for Valentine's, they did cupcakes for the teachers. And so we're looking to do something for Easter as well, because we normally do it, our club normally does, and we do an Easter extravaganza in the park for the kids. So we're gonna incline the K kids as well, so they'll take part in that as well.
Thank you.
Very excited.
Thank you for sharing. I know that we're running over a few minutes. I'd just like to kind of tie things together and let you know about something new that's coming. But again, please reach out to Lisa or I. Please reach out to Lisa, Lisa or me with your stories. With any questions, with any ideas, and with any thoughts from today. But I want to recognize that what a number of you have shared are stories, and particularly, Amy, as you were talking about kind of welcoming in new members of the community from different countries. It made me think about some of the stories that you shared through your interviews through, or K-Kids advisors shared through interviews. A few of you are here. And really, it's about K-Kids offering kids a place to belong. And what we've found really in the member surveys that they started to take, that some kids took this fall, and we hope that you will have them take at the end of the year. What we heard from K-Kids is that they joined for lots of reasons, but one of those reasons, and one of the words that comes to mind, is that they find a place with other kids, and that they find a place where they can contribute. And a lot of the words that they use really have a connotation of belonging. So thank you for creating that space for them, and keep listening to those stories and share them with us. A few things that are coming at the end of the year, or actually, I'm sorry, starting April 10th through May 10th, we're asking advisors to please have your K-Kids members complete a member survey. That data is incredibly important to us. It tells us what they're learning. It tells us what they're seeking. And it tells us a lot. And it's the only way that we can really know what impact K-Kids has and on the students. We're also sending a survey to you. We did not do a beginning of year advisor survey. We know you're incredibly busy at the beginning of the school year, but we are, and not that the end is much better, right? But once a year, we'd like for you to complete a survey that is about the resources that you have at hand that we've produced for you, to give us feedback on what you, honestly, what you use, what you don't use, what you like, what you'd like to see more of or less of, what's missing. And, most important, why we're all here. What effect is everything having on the kids? So we want to hear your feedback. So we'll be sent, your survey will also open on April 10th, and will close on May 10th. Your achievement reports are really important to us because they tell us stories. We don't know what's going on. Like we're at 3636 in Indianapolis. And so you're the only way we know what's going on. So if you could please do those surveys and your reports, it'd be incredibly helpful to us. And finally, I want to shout out to Kelly Marshall, not because she's a teacher here in Indianapolis, but because she volunteered to be a pilot club advisor for something we're calling Global Connections. So we are actually an international organization. We may have, many of our clubs may be in North America, but your club is a club in a school or in an organization in a community. And so even a club that's 3 states away, those kids are in a different type of community, but kids in a club in another country are in a really different type of community. So we have created a meeting kit. And some of you may know that on the website, there are different meeting kits for different purposes, some for club operations, some for service. But we've created a meeting kit that will go online probably in about a month after it's piloted by Kelly Marshall and some other teachers. And the meeting kit is basically the instructions to hold a meeting that is a meeting between your club and a club somewhere else around the world. And so it's a chance for your kids to connect with kids in another K-Kids club, to hear a bit about their culture, to hear a little bit about their club, to hear a little bit about their community, and a little bit about the service that they do. So we hope that after our brave pilot advisors do what they do, we'll take some lessons. We'll probably edit the resource that we offer to you, and then we will offer you a way to connect. So anyway, please read the newsletters. That's our way to communicate with you, and the emails that we send you about these types of opportunities. And thanks, Kelly, for for volunteering, even though you're a busy teacher. And thank you all for everything that you do, advisors and DAs, because you're here for the kids and we love you for it. That's all I have. Anyone else?
I would just like to ask one question before we close off.
Yes,
This is
Beverly.
Ben. Right. What is happening to pins for the K kids? They have discontinued and our K kids are not very happy about that. They are so sad.
Well, thank you for your feedback. I brought it up before you did. We hear you, and we're in the process of talking about what will be in next year's kits. That's all I can say for the moment.
Okay, thanks.
But thank you for sharing. Anyone else?
Get Kelly.
Kelly, can you put your email in the chat? Because I'm from Canada. Might be cool to connect.
Well, actually, Kelly has one with another country, but we are still trying to match a California club with somebody. So if you want to maybe send email Luana. We're trying to fit some time zones here, and California is very far west, and so the farther to Europe and farther is harder. So we're trying to find somebody in the Caribbean or Canada to connect with California. So if you're interested, yeah, let Luana know.
And who, I'm sorry, there's a lot of blocks.
It's Amy from
Amy?
St. Marie.
Amy, got it.
Sault Ste. Marie.
Sault Marie.
Amy.
No problem. You had said that you were going to put your email in the chat earlier, but I didn't see it. So
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's buried now. So let me do that.
I'll add it in there, Luana.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Thank you all. It's so good.
Hello.
Yes.
One more thing. Yes, this is Fidela Fisher.
Yes.
Yes. We are, I think, one of the newest clubs. We haven't really been around for a year. I don't think we've made a year as yet. But the children are so excited to be part of the club. We've been doing different activities as much as we can, because unfortunately we have sports, we have so many things coming back in Grenada. So we are still doing our best. We just received the kit, actually. Just received it. So I can't wait to introduce it to them tomorrow, please God. And I hope that we have much more to share. I have sent pictures of what we've done for K-Kids Service Week. And we have fundraising activities and other things to do just before the term closes.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Yes, please do share with us.
Yes, we will.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, I'm going to say good night. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating. We will put this recording online. Actually, Lisa will do it in the next couple of days. So if you'd like to share it, DAs with others, you'll be able to. Thank you all, and good night or good afternoon.
Thank you too. Good night.
All right, thank you.
Good night.
Hello.
Mike, is
Hi.
that you? Hi. Good night, everyone. Hi, Mike. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.
Good talk.